Wait, you're a Bears fan and you're not subscribed to my channel? Before this video starts, make sure to 1. Hit the subscribe button below to catch all Bears content right here on this podcast. 2. Hit the bell notification because you, my friend, are a diehard Bears fan. And 3. Like this video and tell all the Bears fans you know about the channel. Alright, that's better. Now that you're actually subscribed to the channel, make sure to bear down and enjoy this video.
Now this is a podcast all about Bears. You either cheering for this team or just pulling your hair. I like to take a minute, just sit right back and tell you how I became the #1 Bears fan. That boy is Benny Hunter. Cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic. Before I get started, I just want to remind you guys that I am going live on Friday, but I just want to sit here and remind you guys I am going live on YouTube on Friday at 5 p.m. And so make sure you have all your Bears questions ready, and let's just have a really nice conversation on everything Bears on Friday at 5 p.m. Also, before I continue with today's episode, I know you guys realize that I'm sporting a new sweater, and I absolutely love the sweater. And as you guys can read, it says Green Bay sucks because, as always, Green Bay sucks. So when I saw this sweater via Connor Burns from TikTok, he has a nice little store with a bunch of sweatshirts and shirts that say Green Bay sucks in different colors. Obviously, I got the Bears color one. But you should definitely go check out his store. It's Connor Burns on TikTok. Huge shout out to him for creating this merch because I absolutely love my new sweater that says Green Bay sucks. So if you like it, you should definitely go get one for yourself. So next season, we all form like a huge group of everyone wearing these Green Bay sucks sweaters or shirts. I think that would be totally awesome. So now, Bears fans, now for today's topic here on Keek on the Mic, Matt Eberflus. Coaching staff is starting to come together because, according to Adam Schefter, the Bears are hiring Colts safeties coach Alan Williams as their defensive coordinator. And this was the expected move for a couple of days now, but now it is official. Alan Williams is coming from the Colts to be the new Chicago Bears defensive coordinator. Alan Williams is the second known coach, along with linebackers coach Dave Borgonzi, to follow Matt Eberflus to Chicago, which I know what he's doing. He's trying to bring people he's comfortable with, people that he had success with the Colts, and bringing them over to Chicago. So I think it's a smart plan. So let's get to know Alan Williams a little bit more. Alan Williams, he is 52 years old, and he boasts 30 years of coaching experience along with 21 years in the NFL. This experience includes 2001, he was a defensive assistant with Tampa Bay. From 2002 to 2011, he was the Colts defensive backs coach. From 2012 to 2013, he was the Vikings defensive coordinator. I'll get back to that in a little bit. From 2014 to 2017, he was the Lions defensive backs and safeties coach. And from 2018 to 2021, he went back to the Colts to be their defensive back and safeties coach. So in 4 seasons working with Matt Eberflus with the Colts ranked in the top 10 in the NFL in run defense and takeaways. Also finished top 10 in points allowed 3 times and was the least penalized defense in the league in 2019 and 2021. So just hearing these stats right there, obviously if you watch the press conference with Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles, Coach Eberflus made it very known that his goal is to make his teams the least penalized teams in the NFL. Obviously he accomplished that twice with the Colts defense. So I think that's kind of interesting that he brought that up because he's actually done it. Usually his teams are really disciplined, flying around the football. So I understand why he's bringing over so many defensive coaches from his time with the Colts. So obviously it makes a ton of sense. This move makes a ton of sense. He's comfortable with Williams. Obviously they had 4 years of pretty successful defenses with the Colts. So I'm thinking what Eberflus is thinking. He's hoping that he can bring some of that success that he had with the Colts, and hopefully it carries over to this Chicago Bears defense. Does the Bears defense have the pieces to succeed? Absolutely. Will it carry over? that remains to be seen. That's the hope. That's the goal. I think that's one of the reasons why we hired Eberflus to be the next Chicago Bears head coach, because the leadership he brings, the discipline he brings, and that honestly carries over to all the coaches he's bringing in as well. All these coaches have one thing in common. They have really good leadership, and they're going to make sure we have a disciplined football team. So it makes a lot of sense. A lot of these moves that he's making, they all have one goal in mind. Something to note, though, and this goes back to, obviously, the 2012-2013 when Williams was the Vikings defensive coordinator. Something to note, Eberflus was obviously the one that called the defensive plays while with the Colts. But he's already made it known that he will not be calling the plays this time. That's going to be up to his defensive coordinator, which is now Alan Williams. That means Alan Williams will call the defensive plays. Williams does have experience. He was the Vikings defensive coordinator from 2012 to 2013. He boasts 21 years of experience coaching in the NFL. So the experience part is not what's kind of making me worried. It's the fact that what he did as a defensive coordinator from 2012 to 2013 with the Minnesota Vikings. And let me tell you, it wasn't all pretty for him. In 2012, the Vikings were 24th against the pass, 11th against the run, and 16th overall. So middle of the pack, not too bad of numbers for him in his first season as defense coordinator for the Vikings. It's the second season where I'm like, okay, let's pump the brakes here. But in 2013, his defense basically fell apart. They were 31st against the pass, 16th against the run, and 31st overall. So obviously, that's a huge dip from 2012 to 2013. And like I mentioned, it's not the experience. He has all the experience in the world. It's when you look at the stats, and obviously, you know, we have some better talent on this Bears defense that he can work with from his past days where maybe it wasn't as strong with the Minnesota Vikings, but the stats don't lie, and that scares me quite a bit. Maybe he's learned from his mistakes. Maybe he's a better defensive coordinator this time around, and we better hope so, because we don't need him to come to Chicago with an already aging defense and waste another 2-3 years of this defense, right? Because you still have Khalil Mack, you still have Robert Quinn, you still have Roquan Smith, but you have to remember, Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn are already in their 30s. So time is precious when it comes to this Chicago Bears defense. And I like that Eberflus is going to focus on just being the head coach, because that's what we kind of need. We need someone that's going to be able to delegate different responsibilities on these different coaches, and he just is the main leader, making sure everything's okay. But I hope that his fingerprints are still all over this Chicago Bears defense, because even though that's not the only reason we brought him over as head coach, it's a pretty big reason why he was getting so much interest to be a head coach for a couple of different organizations. It's because his success as a defensive coordinator. So I hope his fingerprints are all over, and I hope, even though he's not going to be calling the plays, I hope he is the one really going over game plans with Alan Williams, which I know is going to be the case, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But obviously the stats don't lie, and the first time around for Alan Williams as a defensive coordinator with the Minnesota Vikings didn't go as planned. So hopefully this time around, it's a little bit better for him. I'm going to remain optimistic, but as a Bears fan, I'm just a little bit worried just because his past experience as a defensive coordinator. At the end of the day, I understand what Eberflus is doing. He's trying to get people that he's familiar with, trying to get some of that success that they had with the Colts and carry it over to Chicago. So I understand why he's doing it, but let's just hope this pans out for the Chicago Bears. So I want to ask you guys this now, Bears fans. How do you like the hiring of Alan Williams as the next Chicago Bears defensive coordinator? Do you wish it was someone else? Do you think they should have maybe just kept Sean Desai and gave him another opportunity? Or do you like the Alan Williams hire as the next Chicago Bears defensive coordinator? Let me know down below in the comment section. But before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content around the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. Make sure you share this episode of Kick on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. Also, don't forget that I'm going live this Friday at 5 p.m., so make sure you tune in, and let's talk all about Bears, and let's have really fun on this live on Friday. But other than that, I'll be back for our all-new Bears podcast right here on Kick on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't